Hey everybody, welcome back to another Triple Hound video, and in this video we are going to rank all 23 Marvel characters in Fortnite from the lowest to the highest. In order to come up with these rankings, we had everybody in the Triple Hound immediate family, so Noah, Pearson, Triple Hound Dad, and even Triple Hound Mom, as well as Brendan, who you must see on this channel if you watch us. He's in almost all of our Fortnite videos, or a very high percentage of our Fortnite videos. We had all 5 of those people rank these skins from 1st to 23rd, and then we took those numbers and sort of did the math, and whoever had the lowest number, i.e. the most rankings highest to number 1, was first on our overall cumulative list, and the person who had the highest score, the most numbers closest to 23, was lowest on the list. And there was a variety of reasons why we were putting the characters where we did. Everybody had different reasons for wanting different characters in there, and we'll kind of talk about that as we go through this list. The exception being Triple Hound Mom, who has never played Fortnite in her life, we presume was just picking based on how they looked. So there is a sort of a looks factor here. Just the pure aesthetics of it came into Triple Hound Mom's rankings. But everybody else had various reasons for thinking the way they did about the characters. And without further ado, we broke them up into 4 tiers. That would be 3 tiers of 6 and 1 tier of 5. And we had 4 tiers. And we'll start at the bottom. And the number 23 person on our list was Silver Surfer. And Silver Surfer is just plain boring. The highest ranking any of us gave him was Brendan at number 16. But everybody else had him last or second to last on their list.
If you know what he looks like, which you should, he is simply just a guy, like just platinum silver. So there's really nothing special about him other than the fact that he's in that universe. I mean, his story, if you know it, is kind of interesting, but even then, he's still a boring character. I mean, most people know about him as he's a dude that's platinum silver with a surfboard that is also platinum silver and just flies around the galaxy and searches for planets for Galactus. So there's a very good reason that most people put him at last, if not second to last, because he's plain out boring.
And we'll move a little bit quickly through the next couple on the list. Cuddlepool at number 22 and Ravenpool at number 21 on this list. Mostly those two ended up in those locations on the list because they're the only people in this whole set of Marvel skins who are not actually Marvel characters. They're Deadpool versions of traditional Fortnite characters, Raven and Cuddle Team Leader. So I think that kind of speaks for those two. I don't know that we need to dwell on that very long. They were in the 20s in 4 of the 5 lists. Basically, both of them were in the 20s in 4 of the 5 lists. The only one who cut him some slack was Pearson, who ranked Cuddlepool at number 10 and Ravenpool at number 11. So he has a soft spot for those two skins, but everybody else rated them very low simply because they're not actual Marvel characters.
And to be fair, they both are pretty cool looking skins, just for the factor of their Deadpool versions of Fortnite skins, which in and of itself is very interesting and quite cool. But we rank them low just because, as Triple Hound Dad said, they're just Deadpool versions of Fortnite skins. They're not actually Marvel characters, meaning that, you know, they're just slightly less cooler than characters that are actually Marvel characters. So, I mean, there's your reasoning, in case you were curious and didn't really fully understand.
The number 20 person on the list is Cable. Again, you know, I guess we can just say he's there because he's kind of boring. He's a big dude. Maybe you lose some points or gain some points in this case for being such a big skin. I know that the hitboxes are not supposed to be any different, but sometimes being a big skin is harder to see around when you're playing the skin, etc. The person who gave him the highest ranking was Triple Hound Mom, who put him at number 9. It's a pretty high ranking, a top 10 ranking for him.
Yeah.
Pearson had him down at number 20. Everybody else had him somewhere in the teens. I mean, he was just one of those guys who really didn't impress anybody greatly and kind of finds himself in the bottom tier because nobody really loved him. Number 19 is Daredevil. Daredevil, when he came out, Noah and I played a series of duos games, both wearing the Daredevil skins, and we got 2 straight duos victories with him. So we had some good luck with him pretty immediately with that Daredevil skin, but I guess he's kind of faded. I think he, in hindsight, is a little bit boring. Again, Noah's got him ranked at number 7. You're the one who ranked him the highest.
I personally, it's not because of that 2 straight duo wins that I like him so much. I just think out of all of the characters, despite him being quite simple, I really like the design and like I like the simplicity of that character. Like Silver Surfer is just plain up boring because he is just simple. There's nothing special about him. He's just silver. But with Daredevil, he's got like that slight detail, and that slight detail almost reminds me of if you took Batman and just made him plain black. Like you could see the difference between the
texture and
texture and stuff. And I think that's kind of a cool design. At least that's me personally. I do agree. There's certain spots where I would have changed personally. I would have made his eye sockets. I would have gotten rid of those black little bits under his eyes. I would have just made them plain red, like in the comics where there's no separation between the mask and the eyes. It's just red. I maybe would have added some slightly darker reds to mix it up. Maybe even make the D and D on his chest be darker so you can actually tell it apart from the suit. But other than that, I do quite like that skin. And yeah, I guess I'm the only one who ranked him as high as I did.
Pearson had him all the way down at 22nd, which is second to last for him. I will say that I appreciate that the Daredevil has 2 variants, one of which is a slightly more comic booky style, and one of which is more of the television show / movie version of Daredevil. There was an MCU version starring Charlie Cox, I think, that was on Netflix for a while, and it kind of looks like that version of Daredevil.
Yeah.
So there are 2 variants. He's kind of cool. Moving up to number 18 as we move the last person on the bottom tier of the list, or the highest ranking person on the bottom tier of the list, I guess you could say, is Storm. She comes in at number 18. Brendan had her at number 23.
Yeah, Brendan did
very last. Yeah, very last.
Brendan did not like Storm.
Everybody else had her in the teens somewhere. I will say that, like, I don't care for the punk version of Storm, the one that you unlock kind of later in the game. Her sort of lightning bolt earrings make her look like some kind of a weird elf to me. A lot of the Storm skin, the way it was carried out in this season of Fortnite, didn't really resonate with me.
Agreed.
So, I don't know. She's okay. I like her as a Marvel character.
Yes, me too.
I like her as a Marvel character, and she's one of my favorite X-Men. But I just didn't feel like the Fortnite version of her really did her justice.
No.
I do like that she's got, as do many of the Marvel characters, she's got her own pickaxe, which is more of an elemental pickaxe than an actual physical pickaxe. That's kind of cool.
That is cool. I do like that.
And that same sort of lightning storm ambiance thing, I like that she can... has that as a contrail glider thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on that I like there, but just nobody liked her enough to give her a high spot. And Brendan really sank her, which probably kept her in the bottom group. If not for that, she would have probably ranked higher in the teens somewhere.
Yeah.
Moving into the second to last tier, the second to bottom tier on the list, and the lowest ranked person in that list is Groot at number 17 overall. And everybody was kind of lukewarm about Groot. Brendan, in this case, was the highest ranking person. He put him at number 10. I had him at number 18. I don't know. Groot just didn't do much for me. Even in the actual MCU, Groot is kind of a meh character to me. Obviously, he only says one thing. That's what he's known for. He's famous for that. I like the baby Groot back bling, probably as a pet, more so than I actually like the Groot character.
I will say, Groot comes with one of my favorite backblings, which you have to do some challenges to unlock, but the rocket pet is pretty cool looking. And also, I will agree, Groot is pretty lukewarm. He's fine, but he's almost like Silver Surfer, where he's just like a big wooden guy. Like, he's better than Silver Surfer, obviously, because we ranked him higher, and he's just a little bit more interesting because he's not just a guy that's, wood. He's got a little bit more detail on him, and I would say, yeah, he's not as interesting as other characters, but yeah, he's decent. He's not horrible, but he's right in between.
Yeah. If Rocket was a playable character, I would have him ranked fairly high. I agree. The Rocket pet back bling is awesome. That's probably the best pet, quote unquote, back bling. If Rocket was here, he'd be pissed we calling him a pet. But in Fortnite parlance, that's a pet, and like it's awesome.
Yes.
So number 16, moving along, She-Hulk. There were some pretty disparate opinions on She-Hulk. Triple Hound Mom had her up at number 5. Pearson had her all the way down at number 21. Everybody just kind of had wildly differing opinions on She-Hulk. In She-Hulk, I think she's cool looking. I kind of like the red version, frankly, a little bit better than the green version. It's kind of a badass version of She-Hulk. So She-Hulk, I don't know, number 16. Everybody else kind of had her somewhere in between. Again, she wasn't somebody who impressed really anybody other than Triple Hound Mom, who gave her apparently a lot of aesthetic points, up at number 5. Number 15 was Star-Lord. And again, Triple Hound Mom was the savior here. She had him up at number 2, all the way up at number 2, by far the highest ranking for him. Noah and Brendan had him down at number 20. So Star-Lord was, again, really wild differences of opinion about Star-Lord. And really, while we're on the subject, Thor, again, really wide differences of opinion there. Triple Hound Mom had him up at number 3, and I had him down at number 21. I thought that this version of Thor was kind of bland. If it was like the Chris Hemsworth version of Thor from the movies, I might have ranked him higher just because I like that character and the way he's portrayed in the movies. But this was the comic book version, which is kind of milquetoast to me. I think it's sort of meh. For me, Star-Lord wins a few points, only because he was one of the first couple of Marvel skins that you could get in the game, and he was one of the first really cool crossover skins in the game. So I kind of give him a little bit of credit on the nostalgia front.
That's fair.
He came with the Milano spaceship glider, which was super, super cool. Remains one of the best gliders in the game.
Yes, for sure.
So I give him some points for that. I don't know that I give him enough points to put him up at number 2, like Triple Hound Mom did. But But Thor and Star-Lord are kind of middle of the pack here.
Yeah.
The next 2 up are the Black Widows. Number 13 is the OG Black Widow. And here again, to me, this one wins points as the very first Marvel crossover skin that you could get in the game at any point. That was back in what, season 8?
Yeah, season 8.
Season 8, you could get the OG Black Widow. That was the first crossover Marvel skin, and it was a sign of things to come. Noah, your first solo victory came wearing the OG
That is
Black
true.
Widow
I should have
skin.
ranked her higher for that. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's true.
So Noah was wearing the Black Widow skin when he got his first solo victory.
You can go check that out somewhere in the YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's on the archive somewhere. It's the replay of it. So
yeah, it's not actually the real play. I also will apologize if you do legitimately go watch that video. We were using like an Apple, one of those Apple microphone things from headphones, so it's very loud and very bass boosted. The microphone at least. But yeah, go check it out if you want.
Yeah, that's obviously a long time ago now.
Oh yes, that's back in season 8. So.
Pearson put her up at number 6. I had her down at number 19. I just went on and on about how awesome the nostalgia factor was, and then I obviously cratered her in my ranking. So I'm a little bit of I'm singing her praises without giving her the ranking she maybe deserves. In the other Black Widow skin, the Winter Black Widow skin was ranked 1 place higher at number 12 overall. Pearson had her up at number 7. I think Brendan actually had her up in the top 10 as well. I think
so.
Number 9. And Triple Hound Mom was nonplussed by this version of Scarlett Johansson, down at number 19 for her. So the 2 Black Widow skins sort of round out that second to lowest tier of Marvel skins based on our ranking. Again, if you guys feel differently about these skins, I'll just put it out there. Put your thoughts down in the comments below. The other thing I'll say kind of at this midway point in this video too is that this list is being recorded at such time that these are the 23 Marvel skins in the game. We have seen the rumors, like everybody else has, that there may be a playable Galactus skin at some point in the game. We have also seen early in the season, we saw some leaks or some rumors and things that there might be a Black Panther skin or a Captain Marvel skin at some point in the game. But the season is starting to tick down now as we're recording this. So if those skins come out in the final, day or two of the season between when we record this and when we post this video, we'll sort of put an addendum either in the description below or in the comments below. And we'll pin the comment there to let you know how we feel like they would fit into this list if they were out when we were recording this. But as of right now, these are the 23 in the game. We also had a brief conversation about whether or not to add Fat Thor or Relaxed Fit Jonesy to this list as kind of an honorary member of the Marvel group. When that skin did come out, we put out a video about it. Please go check that out in the archives. I can probably drop the link to that in the description below as well, if you want to go check out that skin in gameplay mode. But Fat Thor, we thought about putting him in this ranking, but we ultimately decided to just use the ones that were sort of licensed Marvel crossover skins as opposed to the sort of the de facto lookalike skins. If you do want to see videos about lookalikes in Fortnite that look like they're inspired by characters from Marvel or television shows or other movies, fast food, whatever. We have a series of videos of of lookalike skins in Fortnite and who they look like. So I'll drop a link to the playlist in the description below as well, so you can check out all of that exciting other content. Now, moving on to the list again, we are in the top 11. So we've got the next sort of tier up. The next tier up starts with, at the bottom of it, at the number 11 overall spot, is Wolverine. Wolverine had a high ranking of number 4 by Brendan. Pearson and Mom, Triple Hound Mom, put him kind of low. Pearson had him at 19. Triple Hound Mom had him at 20. But he's in the top 10 of the other 3 lists. And I give him points for having a lot of different variants. He's got like the old school variant with the brown and yellow. He's got kind of the contemporary Wolverine that's blue and yellow. He also has the old man Logan version where he's just kind of in a tank top and muscle bound or whatever.
And then he's also got those 3 holofoil styles as well.
Yeah, and everybody's got their holofoil styles in this game as well. The silver, gold, and rainbow, whatever it's called, version. And he's got one of the cooler emotes of all of these guys.
For sure.
He sort of takes out his claws and has the snicked sound effect bubble thing. So he's got some things going on in terms of emotes and stuff. I do appreciate that out of him. He is, let me just do the scan of the list here really quickly. He is the first one on the list so far that has been a boss in the game. So some points for that. He's one of, in my humble opinion, one of the tougher bosses in the game, actually.
Yes, for sure. Him and Iron Man are up there and harder to beat.
So he's one of the harder guys to beat in the game. And if I recall, you had to like kill him at some point in order to unlock the skin.
Mm-hmm. That's how you actually unlock the skin. You have to kill him.
So you have to like actually battle this guy to get your hands on the skin, which is a different sort of element compared to the other 2 guys who had bosses so far in the game. Number 10 is Domino. Pearson ranked her at number 4. That's the highest ranking anybody gave her. Noah, you put her down at number 17. Everybody else had her somewhere in between the 2.
I kind of just thought Domino, like, she's cool looking, but in my opinion, she's just on the simple, bland side. I see where that get confusing, where I'm like, oh, Daredevil is super cool, except he's just like plain red, and then like a character who has actually some differentiating colors and color coordination and stuff would be lower than him. But I think personally, just Domino isn't as interesting of a character to me as Daredevil is, if we're going off that sense. And I just think she did have a cool design in Fortnite. I just think, in my opinion, she's not up there in my favorite characters in general and in Fortnite.
That's fair. Number 9, we had Blade, who is in the top 10 on 4 of the 5 lists. I gave him the highest ranking at number 7. I have a soft spot for the Wesley Snipe Blade movies that came out, which all came out before the kids were even born. So if they remember them in any way, shape, or form, it's a faint memory from when they were watching violent movies as babies. I love that version of Blade, and I understand there's going to be a new Blade that comes out played by Mahershala Ali, who is a fantastic actor. He was in the Luke Cage television show and did a fantastic job. So I'm very much looking forward to the Mahershala Ali version of Blade. And I think you would agree with me on this one. The best part of the Blade skin is his pickaxe,
yes.
His Daywalker pickaxe blade, which he wields in a way that is different than any other pickaxe is wielded in the game. He I don't know, swings it like a sword, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I would. If anyone told me that their favorite pickaxe was anything but that, I'd be a little bit lost and had to explain to them how wrong they are at that. That can't be their favorite pickaxe because this is the coolest pickaxe in the game, in my opinion, and I think many others.
Yeah, he definitely uses it in a way that's different. The animation of the use of that pickaxe is different than any other pickaxe in the game, and is for our money the best animation of any pickaxe. Number 8 is Psylocke. Triple Hound Mom had her at number 4. Pearson had her at number 5. I had her all the way down at number 14. Noah, you and Brendan had her kind of somewhere in between those two.
Yeah.
But high enough that she makes the top 10 of the overall list. She's at number 8 overall. I think she's pretty cool. Her stance in the game when she is in the lobby is unique to her. I'll give her points for that. A lot of people just stand there with their arms at their side or folding their arms. She is sort of floating up in the air on one leg in kind of a weird ballerina pose. Her pickaxe is pretty cool. She's got that psionic blade thing going on.
I gave her... The reason I ranked her, I would say, decently high. I don't think I ranked her like crazy high, but I think her and Domino are pretty close. And I think I ranked her above Domino simply for the fact that her pickaxe was the first of that type to not be like a solid thing, but like an energy style of pickaxe. And simply for that, I gave her, I put her up a little bit higher than some other characters. So that's at least my opinion. That's why I liked her a little bit. That's
cool. And that's an innovation in the game. We have seen a lot of those energy style pickaxes that have come out since then. Mm-hmm. So points for that. Just ahead of her on the list is Dr. Doom. I had him at number 5. I was the one who ranked him the highest. Pearson had him down at number 13. Everybody else was somewhere between the two. I like Dr. Doom not only as a character, but I've got a soft spot for him because of the role he plays in the comic books. And then there's the God Mode Doom in the game that you can unlock, which is sort of white and gold, which is reminiscent of the Doom that played a role, and I believe it was either the Secret Wars or the Avengers versus X-Men storyline. I forget which, and I'm not going to be able to go dig through my giant stack of comic books to figure it out at this point. But the Lord Emperor type Doom with the gold and the white, I really think is super cool. That might be my favorite of any of the Marvel variants. You've got all of these different versions. You had, like I was saying earlier, you've got the Punk Storm that I really didn't like.
You got the Red She-Hulk.
You got the Red She-Hulk. And you've got a lot of sort of different variants. I don't know, the blonde Black Widow, for instance, and things like that. This version of Doom, of the variant version of Doom, is, I think, my favorite variant version of any of these characters. The highest ranking person on the second tier of our list, and someone who just barely missed out on being in the top tier, was Captain America. Brendan and Noah both had him at number 3. I had him at number 4. So he had all of the high rankings necessary to make it into that top group, except that Triple Hound Mom had him down at number 18. She was not affected by the nostalgia here. Pearson, I don't think ranked him particularly highly. So Captain America just barely missed being in that coveted top 5, top tier. But you, me, and Brendan all had him ranked very highly. And for me, anyways, it was about his role in the MCU and how cool he is in all of the movies. I love the fact that his back bling is also his pickaxe, the shield.
I agree. I ranked him at number 3 personally, just because, first of all, Captain America used to and is still definitely in my top 5 list of favorite superheroes of all time. It's my list is at the top 2. He is number 2. It's Spider-Man and then him. So he is definitely one of my favorite superheroes, and he's been my favorite superhero since I can remember. So I ranked him high simply for that, but also, yeah, he's got his pickaxe, which is also his back bling, and I think arguably that is the best system. That is the best back bling to pickaxe thing. There's Sky, and I think Daredevil has something similar to that, where it's not his back bling, but he pulls his little sticks off his thigh, and then, as I said, Sky pulls her sword off her back bling. But I think personally, pulling Captain America's shield off his back is probably the coolest of all of them. So simply for that, I put him 3.
And they did a really good job rendering this particular skin in the game.
This is my favorite version of Captain America that I've seen in all internet and media.
Video games and stuff. So that's our second highest tier. Now moving on to our top 5 overall in the list and our top tier in the rankings. And again, if you agree or disagree, throw it down in the comments below. Coming in at number 5 overall, and the lowest ranked person in the top tier is Deadpool. I had him ranked number 2. His lowest ranking of anybody's was 16. I had him at number 2. He's my second favorite skin in the game. I love Deadpool. I love Deadpool in the movies, played by Ryan Reynolds. If you want to check out our Trash Talk voiceover video using Ryan Reynolds clips, check it out in the archives. We have a whole playlist of videos using famous actors and actresses' voices over Fortnite clips, sort of to make funny trash talk videos. I can throw a playlist. I can throw that link in the description below as well. We're shameless shills for other content. I had him at number 2. I really, really like him. I like that, again, similar to Psylocke, he's got his own stance. He has a really cool glider. It's that sort of weird, Deadpool llama thing that he rides on. He's got his own pickaxe. He's got his own chimichanga microwave emote that is funny, and we used that in another video about foods around Fortnite. So there's just a lot about the Deadpool character in this game that I really like. I had him ranked really highly.
Yeah, I agree. Deadpool, especially this version, while it's not hard to make a version of Deadpool, I think Deadpool in the Fortnite style really works, and I think this is one of my favorite versions of Deadpool as a rendered character.
And I think, too, sometimes with crossovers, you have to be careful because the nature of Fortnite is running around with assault rifles and pistols and shotguns and things and just blasting other people. Seeing somebody like Captain America, who's otherwise a wholesome character who uses his shield and fights off sort of bad guys with his fists, use assault rifles to mow down people is a little bit out of character for him. Mm-hmm. It's just plain old not out of character for Deadpool.
Oh yeah,
he's crass and he's violent and his movies are rated R, and having him in the Fortnite universe blasting people with firearms is not sort of out of character.
You know what I just realized? While doing this, what would be a perfect pickaxe for him? Blade's pickaxe.
Oh, yeah, you could put Blade's pickaxe on him.
Have his dual katanas in his back and then just have him swinging the katana around instead of using his clubs or whatever he has. That'd be perfect. Yeah,
no, that would be really good for him. Number 4 on the list is Iron Man, or the Tony Stark character in Fortnite. And you and I both had him at number 1. Brendan had him at number 2. But Triple Hound Mom and Pearson had him at 14 and 17, respectively. He was kind of middle of the pack for them. We had him all ranked very highly. I had him ranked number 1 because I think he's just the total package. His emote is cool. The texture of the Iron Man suit and all of the plates and pieces and way it connects on the game rendering is really exact to me. It's really crisp. I like everything about the skin. I like him as a character in the MCU. I like him as a character in the comic books. I like Iron Man and Tony Stark overall, and I really like what Fortnite did with him.
I agree. I think, like I've said in the last couple characters, I think Iron Man is I think the reason I ranked him so high is, again, as you said, his emote is probably one of, if not the coolest built-in emotes in the game. Him turning from his Tony Stark to total Iron Man is super cool. He's got a pretty cool set overall. I think his glider is one of my favorites. It's not my favorite, but I think for the set of gliders, like the Mjolnir glider and the Storm glider, I think of those, Iron Man's is definitely my favorite. But also, this version of Iron Man is my favorite rendering of Iron Man. I think it's my favorite Iron Man suit all time. I think after that, it's probably a couple of the MCU versions, like his most recent one in Endgame, and probably his traditional one that he came out with Iron Man in Iron Man 1. But I think this version, I just really like. I like when the Iron Man suits have a little tidbit of silver and gray mixed in to show that it's not fully complete, but it's complete. And so I just really like that combination of colors and just, as you said, the material and the way the plates all connect together. I think it's really cool, and I think, he's just personally my favorite Marvel skin.
Yeah. He was super high on a lot of lists, but Triple Hound Mom and Pearson had him ranked low enough that he didn't quite make the top 3 of our overall list. Moving on to number 3 overall is Mystique. Pearson had him at number 3. I had her down at number 10, but she was in the top 10 of everyone's list, which is why she was ranked overall so high. For me, anyways, one of the best parts about Mystique is her emote, where she takes on the form of whoever you killed last wearing her.
Yeah, I think that is. I might just be lying about what I just said, but I think her emote is the best built-in emote, and then Tony's is probably the second best. But I think the idea of being able to use that ability while not being permanent in the game is really cool, and I think, personally, the reason I ranked her as high as I did, I think she might have been in my top 5, at least top 6, I think, maybe even top 7. I think I put her above 10, but I really like their translation from her in the comics to the game, and then, her emote just, I think, sells it for all of us.
Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit off camera or off video or whatever previously. I think Mystique's emote is the only one really in the game that can be used for a competitive advantage. If you are using Mystique and you are trying to hide somewhere and you have killed somebody with the color scheme of your background, if you kill a default, for instance, you can take on the look of that default and be largely green and brown in tones, and then you can do something like hide in a bush more effectively, that type of thing. You could also confuse somebody that you're playing against. For instance, if you are behind a building or out of view for a second, you kill an opposing player and take on the look of the opposing player and come out from behind that surface looking differently. An opponent looking at the situation might think that there is more than one person back there. They might think that there is a different person back there than who they thought. There's just there are ways to confuse your opponents by taking on the look of whoever it was you killed last. It also was used to great effect, I believe, by either Lachlan or Muselk or somebody who went out, and when Wolverine was in the game, but before the skin was usable, he used Mystique. He suited up with Mystique and went and killed the Wolverine boss, and then took on the look of Wolverine in the game before the skin was released to do so. So smart thinking on their part to use Mystique to basically play with skins that hadn't been released yet.
People also did this with the Shadow Midas skin. While it never got released officially, when he was a boss in the game for the Fortnite 2020, people would go and Mystique kill him, and they could take his skin and play as him, which I thought was really clever. And I wish I had done it, but I ended up not doing it just because Fortnite was quite hell after a little bit, and it just kind of got stale. And so I just ended up stopped playing for a little bit once that kind of was going on.
So Mystique gets a really high ranking here because you can use her to play with unreleased skins or skins that you don't have simply by hunting for other players and using that emote. Number 2 overall on the list is Ghost Rider. Both Triple Hound Mom and Pearson had him at number 1. Everyone else had him at in the top 10, but at number 6 or number 7. He... super cool looking. No disagreement there. I really like how cool Ghost Rider looks. I love his chains, his double-handed fiery chain pickaxes. I love his flaming motorcycle glider, although I wish he would sit on it as opposed to stand on it. So, I mean, he just gets a lot of points for the... glider and pickaxe, and again, he's a badass skin. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
And again, as soon as he came out, Noah and I played a series of duos games and won
2 in a row.
2 in a row. So we had really good luck playing with him as soon as he came out as well.
And then I will also mention we got screwed over when Black Widow came out. So
and our streak of doing really well with newly released Marvel skins ended with Black Widow. We did not get our victories there. Nor did we get them with Venom. We did get a victory with Venom.
We did get a victory, eventually.
Which brings us, I guess, might as well use that as the segue. The number 1 person on the list is Venom. Brendan had him ranked at number 1. He was ranked number 2 on a couple of other lists. He was ranked number 3 on one list and number 8 on one list. So he was in the top 8 on everybody's list, and he was in the top 3 on 4 of the 5 lists. I like the Venom skin a lot. I think this Venom skin might be the just straight up coolest looking skin of all of the Marvel skins in straight up coolness factor. The only piece that I personally have an issue with is gameplay. His frigging shoulder is so massive that when you are scoping in with something like an assault rifle...
if you're moving around, that shoulder's going to get all over your screen. You don't want people to see anything.
Yeah, if you're moving around, the beefy Venom shoulder takes up a solid quarter of your screen. And if you're trying to find somebody on the horizon, if somebody is small or kind of moving towards you from a distance, if they're out at 150 or 200 meters or 300 meters or something, good luck seeing them, because all they're going to see is Venom's massive shoulder taking up most of your screen. So I have a problem with that. I don't like that.
I almost put him down just for that reason as well. The only thing that brought him to second, in my opinion, was simply the fact that he's the only skin that has that really close relationship with Spider-Man. As I mentioned with Captain America is my second favorite superhero, but Spider-Man is my first. I love Spider-Man. He's my favorite. I love him. He's my favorite ever. He's just awesome. And Venom is the closest thing I have to a Spider-Man skin and closest to a Marvel official Spider-Man relationship. So I ranked him second simply for that factor. And yeah.
And if you want to see our custom version of the Peter Parker and Miles Morales versions of Spider-Man, as well as the Spider-Gwen skin, check that out in the archives. I'm going to have so many links in the description below that it's crazy. Links. Somebody needs to keep track of the links that I promised people, so that when I go ahead and put this on the channel, I'll have to remember what links I promised people.
Yeah.
So that's our list, number 1 through 23. Again, if there are other Marvel skins that have been released since we recorded this, but before the big event, the big Galactus event, then we apologize. We'll add them later sort of as a text to the description or as a pinned comment to let you know how we think they would have fit in. At this moment, a playable Galactus skin is not in the game. If that's even coming out, we don't know. There have been rumors again of Black Panther and Captain Marvel. We don't know if those are coming into the game either. But as we're recording this, they are not in the game, and these are the 23 that are. A quick rundown. 1 through 23, Venom number 1, Ghost Rider number 2, Mystique number 3, Iron Man number 4, Deadpool number 5, Captain America 6, Doom 7, Psylocke 8, Blade 9, Domino 10, Wolverine 11, Winter Black Widow 12, OG Black Widow 13, Thor 14, Star-Lord 15, She-Hulk 16, Groot 17, Storm 18, Daredevil 19, number 20, Cable, 21, Ravenpool, 22, Cuddlepool, and 23, boring Silver Surfer. So that's it. Please do check us out on social media, both Twitter and Instagram at TripleHound. Check us out on Twitch at twitch.tv/TripleHound to see when we stream a lot of these videos the first time in our gameplay and a lot of different games. We have played more than 30 different video games here on the Triple Hound channel. It's not all just Fortnite. So please do check out all of our content, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.